Holy smokies, it ain't no jokies. XRP holders, we have so much to talk about. I think this is going to be a long one, a doozy. So sit back and relax. Actually, I think that if you clicked on it, you already know how long it is, right? But I have so much to talk about. So sit back, relax, beautiful smile, smishity smash that like button. I'm counting on you and I'm looking at you. I know you're lazy. I know you don't smash the like button, but this time you're going to do it. Okay. Please read the disclaimer. Right now, price action of the crypto market is disgusting. XRP is at $1.16, down 2.8% on the day. It's not just XRP, it's the whole crypto market that is down. But basically, this is the lowest point that XRP has been since February 5th. Same thing here for Bitcoin. Same thing for Ethereum. It's everybody. Ethereum even dropped lower to where it was on February 5th. Bitcoin is higher. XRP is right now higher, and it didn't hit the low there. Solana dropped lower today, but bounced back as well. So we're in a tricky situation right now. We're probably going to be in extreme fear, one digit here tonight when it changes over. We got lots of liquidation, 1.7 billion liquidations. But interestingly, most of it is Bitcoin and Ethereum, others Solana. XRP, you can see, is only a small rectangle here at 24 million. So it seems that what's happening is XRP is attracting money, but not buyers. More than 25 million XRP left exchanges in recent days, while ETF products saw recent inflows. However, due to recent Bitcoin crash, XRP falls to levels not seen since November of 2024, which actually is not true, right? Coin Bureau missed a little bit. You could say, okay, here, but he missed out that that we did hit these levels on February 5th and February 6th. But still, outside of these 2 days, we're back to levels of November. Think about where we are regulatory, situation, where we are with the ETFs, where we are with the Clarity Act. To me, it looks like an interesting zone. You have to decide what you want to do and how you want to approach this current sell-off. When we dropped in February, a lot of people were like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. Now you're getting another opportunity and you have to decide, are we going to see it continue to drop under maybe even $1? What are you going to do if that happens? Okay, right now you have to make a plan in place. I'm giving you homework and you have to decide what is good for you. I saw someone in the comment section was like, he won't tell us what we're supposed to do. Yeah, of course not. Every single person has a different portfolio. Every single person has a different risk ratio. And I potentially could do things that maybe you couldn't do. And you could do things maybe that I couldn't do. Maybe you're 16 and you're watching this and you can be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe you're 65 and you're watching this and you need to be a lot more conservative. So it all depends, okay? So if we go back to actually what he was saying here, it seems that the algos are just triggering sell-offs. It's not really retail or any institution that is selling off XRP. And that's why it could be a very fast snapback. Okay. But again, I'm not a prophet. I don't know exactly how this is going to happen. And on this kind of, this pullback and this low point here for the crypto market, Charles Schwab just announced 24/7 cryptocurrency futures trading for select assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP on all Thinkorswim platforms. So this is also happening. Oh, by the way, I didn't think about this. We talked about the potential of funds running away from the crypto markets to get ready for all the massive IPOs that are happening in the stock market. But I didn't think about the fact that we've talked a lot how many times Bitcoin and the crypto market have been manipulated to close the gaps. Well, soon there's not going to be gaps because the CME is also going 24/7. So maybe some of the sell-off has to do with that. I don't know. It's interesting. But look how Bitcoin dominance has fallen down. And so this is also an interesting scenario because last time that we were so low was around September of 25. September of 25. What was going on then? September of 25. November, October, September, somewhere around here. So that's interesting. That was the last time that we were such low Bitcoin dominance. Interesting, right? This whole kind of after said that in October 10th, Bitcoin had held nicely until now, which is super interesting. And this continues to, raise the question: is the crypto market being manipulated? Now, listen, there's all these Straight Street, what's their name? Jane Street, that with that 10 a.m. drop and all those things and all those shenanigans that were happening. We don't know exactly, but we do know that since we have the Bitcoin ETFs, there has been manipulation being done on that front. How much and how much that is affecting the crypto market, someone needs to do, a research about it and find out. But bull theory says here is the crypto market being manipulated. After crypto market structure bill passed, the Senate Banking Committee on May 14th, Bitcoin started dumping. Bitcoin crashed 25% in the next 20 days and drops $20,000, wiping out 406 in market cap. During this time frame, 10.98 billion in leveraged positions were also liquidated. Many are speculating this liquidity rotation, institutional money moving out of crypto into equities as stocks hit all-time highs, or prices are being intentionally suppressed before the Clarity Act fully passes so institutions can accumulate more Bitcoin at lower prices before the regulatory green light arrives. Since May 15th, Bitcoin ETFs sold 4.356 billion worth of Bitcoin, and we'll get to BlackRock in just a second. Not a single day of inflows since the Clarity Act advanced. That is wild, right? That is crazy. Not one single day of inflows since the Clarity Act advanced. Mind-blowing, right? The same bill that is supposed to be bullish for institutional crypto adoption triggered the longest ETF outflow streak on record. Then on June 1st, Saylor sold that 32 Bitcoin worth $2.5 million, only 0.0037% of his holdings for the first time since 2022 to fund dividend payments. He's the largest corporate Bitcoin holder on earth. The single sale raised fears that more selling is coming and that fear alone accelerated the drop. Fundamentally, Bitcoin rejected from the resistance at 83,000, creating a lower high. Following the typical 4-year cycle, it's now printing consistent lower highs and lower lows, pointing toward new cycle lows in the coming months. And while this is happening, the US, Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea markets are all hitting all-time highs in the last 20 days. This could also be a factor. We talked about how the South Koreans love crypto. So if their stock market, and also the Japanese, so if their stock market is hitting all-time highs, we've talked about this before, Japanese, South Koreans, they like to trade their own exchanges, their own stock markets, right? And so like they use Upbit. They don't usually, it's an exchange in South Korean or an exchange in Japanese. They have also apps that they use mostly like their own local apps. So the fact is that their stock markets are doing so amazing could be also that they are cycling out of crypto right now and into those markets as well. Not just the US stock market, which is doing really good. So this is interesting. Now, Michael Saylor just said capital markets are funding the AI build out at historic scale, 400 billion over 6 months. Bitcoin ETFs have seen 4 billion of outflows since May 14th. Pressuring Bitcoin. This is a capital rotation, not a Bitcoin impairment. Volatility creates opportunity, right? And people have been talking about how a Bitcoin crash can force Saylor to sell because people are saying, well, he is now facing the biggest unrealized loss in history, 10.8 billion. In other words, after 6 years of buying Bitcoin, the company is down 17% on its position. By comparison, the S&P is up 116% over the same time frame. Since MicroStrategy sold the Bitcoin, the 32 Bitcoin, their position has lost 11.8 billion in value. This is, a kick. And they're saying running out of cash can be a problem, not Bitcoin price dropping. Strategy holds 843,000 Bitcoin, 4% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist, and none of it is pledges collateral. So how does the machine break? The dividend drain. Strategy owes about 1.7 billion a year in payments it can't skip. Its cash reserves have fallen to 861 million. That's 6 months of runway. The loop tightens. STRC trades at 94.65 under its 100 par. That trips strategy own rule. Below 95, raise the dividend rate by 50 BPS or more. A higher rate means bigger payments, which drain the reserve faster. The mix makes the hole deeper. The cash calls. Bondholders can demand 4.5 billion back, and they'll want cash, not stock. The notes convert at 183, 433, and 672. MSTR isn't close to any of those. 1 billion in September of 27, 2 billion in March of 2028, and 1.5 billion in June of 2028. Triggered one already fired. They sold 32 Bitcoin in late May to cover the dividend, the first sale in 4 years. A company with billions in reserve doesn't do that. A company down 871 million does. Trigger 2 is live now. Trigger 3 is 15 months out. This was never a margin call risk. It's the cash they legally on hook for. And that's the question. Is this going to implode on him and potentially bring the whole crypto market down? Or will the price of Bitcoin start coming up and they'll continue to sell shares and take on diluting their stock, and that's how they're going to continue to fund their Bitcoin buys? Or they could just keep Bitcoin and maybe sell a little bit along the way. Wouldn't be the worst thing ever, even though he said he would never sell his Bitcoin. But it is what it is. Maybe he can say that it didn't go as planned, right? Happens sometimes. Sometimes companies have to pivot. But this is a possibility, right? That we do see the crypto markets continue to drop. There's a possibility that if it doesn't hold this 200-week SMA near 61,000, that we fall to 53. It's the last major support that has marked every bottom, right? 2015 Mt. Gox was the bottom. 2018, we had the ICO crash, right, where all those initial coin offerings and eventually the sell-off there. We had the COVID crash and the FTX collapse. If 61 breaks, Bitcoin next major support being realized, price near 53,000. Below that, traders may start watching 50,000 as a psychological level. So that's the question. And if that happens, that is brings us to this pink line right here. You see, I have it charted out, ready for that to happen. And if that happens, we would potentially see Bitcoin dropping around 21%. If XRP falls in a similar fashion, which lately it has been moving, give or take, to what is happening with Bitcoin, that would bring us around 93 cents. So that would mean us dropping under $1. Again, if that possibility happens, what are you going to do? I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Now listen, there are opportunities right now in the market because it is volatile, right? It was sleepy, right? Sleepy, sideways movement, not a lot of happening. And over the past few days, we have seen action. Yes, it has been action to the downside, but I have been taking advantage of it. And I have been opening positions and day trading. And now if you are interested, my go-to exchange is BTCC. Because I have met the people, I have seen their facilities, I know who they are, right? And so that gives me confidence to use them as an exchange, but it gives me also confidence that they're not going to disappear on us, right? And they are around about 14 years, so it gives me confidence as well. This is my go-to exchange. Now, if you're already trading on another exchange, you can try out BTCC, or if you already sign up, now might be the time to make your first deposit and start trading, start your trading journey. I will get a commission if you do use my link, so it will help out significantly the channel if you do use my link and not another creator's link. So I really appreciate it if you do use my link. Thank you for that. It is an affiliate link, so again, I will get a commission, and please, please, please trade responsibly. So Raoul Paul is saying the crypto is all going to tech stocks narrative is alluring, but overall, this is the actual results from liquidity cycle low in 2022. Bitcoin return had a 310% and the NASDAQ went up 187%. So this needs to be the question right now. The question needs to be right now, the stock market is doing very good, but the question is from now, if we go 2 years down the line, where is the crypto market and where is the NASDAQ, or where are the tech stocks? Are they giving the same returns or not? Right now, of course, it would have been much better since October to be buying AI stocks, right? And not crypto, shorting crypto and buying AI stocks. But hindsight is 2020. We don't know. So maybe this is the bottom now, and actually it'll be a lot more profitable potentially to go into the crypto market. Again, I don't know. Any investment, as I remind you, is a speculation. You're taking a risk. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. That's how the wheel turns. We talked about how the ETFs were seeing significant consecutive days of outflows. Well, now we know BlackRock moved another 5,000 Bitcoin worth 325 million and 20,000 Ethereum worth 35 million to Coinbase Prime. So this means more selling potentially. They're releasing their assets there because of that. The ETFs right now are not a good product for BlackRock. Does that lower the probability of an XRP ETF? Right now, probably, right? So we'll see. And this is a model that previous cycles, many had looked at it and it was actually pretty on par to what would happen, the plan B module here. And if you can see previously, it always gave us that red. Let's make it bigger. It gave us the red, and then there was a blue, and then there was a red. And this time around, we never had that banana zone, but we already hit the blue. And so the question is, what could potentially happen here? And plan B is telling us below 200 moving averages, the black line, below realized price, gray line, 53,000, right? Whenever we saw it hit the black line, we always, or the lower than the gray line, we saw it after that recover. So the question is, again, like we talked about that 200 moving average, can we get that pop-up? Is it all being played out for the Clarity Act being passed? And this is all, again, either one, manipulation, or two, like we talked about in the morning. And this is, I've seen this in multiple places already, multiple articles, multiple things talking about how this could be a manipulation before the Clarity Act, but also liquidity coming out in order to participate in the IPOs and then maybe come back to the crypto market. So again, we'll have to see. It actually was shorter than I thought. I thought we'd be on like 20 minutes. So you guys, you gained. In Hebrew, we say you gained, but that's not the, you won, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the best translation for that. I have to think about it. Anyway, don't forget to check out BTCC again if you want to trade the market. Subscribe, smash the like button. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. I'm serious. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.